But what happened next inside that Browns quarterback competition exposed something that even longtime insiders are struggling to explain. Stick around, because this story gets wild.
Yeah, Phil, the Browns quarterback competition that's going to extend into training camp this week is firmly going to center around Deshawn Watson and Shedeur Sanders. The two quarterbacks split first-team reps throughout the spring, and head coach Todd Monken was so impressed. He said he thinks he has two starting-level quarterbacks on this roster, but he's going to use the next couple weeks to decide who will start under center in week one. And there's a big question for both these players. For Watson, who's 30 years old and now healthy from that Achilles tear that kept him out last year, can he stay healthy?
Nobody saw this coming. Not the Cleveland media, not the national NFL analysts, and definitely not the people who spent all offseason burying Shedeur Sanders. Because one report just dropped and it changed everything. A stat so specific, so buried in the fine print that almost nobody caught it. But we caught it. And once you hear it, you're going to understand why Cleveland suddenly can't stop talking about this quarterback room.
That got him that $230 million contract just a couple of years ago. Now for Sanders, we know that he can make the big play, but can he do the routine a little bit more? Here's the key stat for him from last year. 3.24 seconds. That was his average time to throw, and that was the longest out of 38 quarterbacks that made at least 6 starts in 2025. Monken and his coaching staff want him to play faster. They want him to get through his progressions a little bit quicker, and they think that he's been doing that over the past couple months.
Training camp opened this week in Cleveland, and within hours, the Shedeur Sanders storyline was trending again. Not because of hype, not because of highlights, because of a report. ESPN's own Browns insider stepped in front of a camera and said the quiet part out loud. 2 quarterbacks, 1 job, in a coaching staff that suddenly sounds a lot less certain than they did back in the spring. Here's where it gets interesting. The reporter laid it out plainly. Deshawn Watson and Shedeur Sanders split first-team reps all spring. Not backup reps, not scout team reps, first team. And head coach Kevin Stefanski, the man who controls this roster, came right out and said he believes he has 2 starting-level quarterbacks under his watch. Think about that for a second. A 30-year-old veteran with a $230 million contract and a rookie who wasn't even guaranteed a roster spot a year ago. Both labeled starting level by the same coach. That's not a throwaway line. That's a headline. But here's where things get crazy. For months, the narrative around Shedeur Sanders was simple. Too slow, too hesitant, not ready. Analysts pointed to one number all season long: his time to throw. 3.24 seconds, the slowest release of any quarterback in football with at least 6 starts in 2025. That number got repeated everywhere. On debate shows, on sports radio, in every "he's not ready" segment you can imagine. But that's not even the most shocking part. Because while everybody was repeating that stat, almost nobody mentioned what came next.
Shedeur has been working during his offseason with those progressions. I do believe Shedeur has added another person to his team for helping his development as a quarterback. I'm not going to spill any beans. Just know when the news do come out, just remember I told y'all, Shedeur has been working with somebody for getting him to that next level where he need to be on the football field, with those progressions, with getting the ball out quicker, with dropping back, and doing everything he need to do to make sure he beat out Deshaun Watson. Now, this was ESPN
most
Cleveland
amount
today.
Of games at quarterback for the Browns this upcoming season.
Shedeur.
Here's where the media's argument completely falls apart. The same report that revealed that slow release time also revealed something else. Shedeur has spent this entire offseason working specifically on that exact weakness: faster progressions, quicker decisions, getting the ball out on time. And according to insiders close to the building, he added a new voice to his personal training team, specifically to attack that one flaw. Now ask yourself something. How many quarterbacks who supposedly aren't ready spend their whole offseason surgically fixing the one number the entire league is using against them? That's not somebody hiding from criticism. That's somebody who heard it and went to war with it. Now pay attention to this. If Shedeur Sanders truly wasn't a threat, why is the Cleveland media suddenly pushing his name every single day of camp? Think about it. You don't manufacture a quarterback controversy around a guy who has no chance. You manufacture a controversy around a guy who's making the front office nervous. And that's exactly what's happening in Cleveland right now. The storyline isn't, is Shedeur good enough? The storyline has quietly shifted to, how do we justify not starting him? That's a completely different conversation, and it's one the Browns organization did not expect to be having in July. Let's talk football for a second. Deshawn Watson is 30 years old, coming off an Achilles tear that wiped out his entire 2025 season. The question surrounding him isn't talent, it's health. Can his body hold up? Does he still have the physical tools that earned him a contract worth nearly $250 million? Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is a rookie who split first-team reps with a former $230 million passer all spring and made the coaching staff genuinely uncertain about who should start Week 1. That's not a hot take. That's not fan bias. That's coming directly from the team's own coaching staff, filtered through their own beat reporter. 2 starting caliber arms, 1 job, in a front office that has to make an impossible decision in the next 2 weeks. That's not even the most shocking part.
You have it, dog.
It's about that.
Not really words have been said.
Foe ain't gonna complain about
Nothing.
Guys,
So now the Cleveland media is pretty much pushing this Shedeur Sanders narrative. I don't know why they're doing that all of a sudden. I truly believe if Shedeur do get the chance to start, Deshaun Watson's not going to see the light of day. But if Shedeur don't get the chance to start, it's clear to me that they're tanking the season.
Fans are already split down the middle. Some are calling this the most electric quarterback competition in the league heading into camp. Others are convinced Cleveland already knows the answer and is just delaying the inevitable announcement. But listen to how one former player put it, sitting right there in that same interview, laughing as he said it. He predicted Shedeur wouldn't leave the field, not as a backup, not in packages, as the guy. And when Watson himself was asked to respond, he didn't argue, he didn't push back. He just said, it's about that time. Let that sink in for a second. Even his own quarterback room isn't fighting the momentum anymore. So where does this leave the Browns? A coaching staff that says both quarterbacks are starting caliber, a veteran who just laughed off the question instead of denying it, a media market suddenly obsessed with a rookie they were writing off 6 months ago, and a specific glaring weakness, that same slow release time everyone used as ammunition that Shedeur has reportedly spent the entire offseason attacking head-on. This isn't a rookie hoping to survive camp. This is a rookie forcing a franchise to make a decision they clearly weren't ready to make. And that decision is coming, not next year, not in a few months, within the next 2 weeks. Whether you love Shedeur Sanders or you can't stand him, one thing is becoming impossible to deny. Every single time they try to write him off, he goes back to work on the exact thing they criticized. Every time the narrative says he's not ready, the tape, the reps, and now his own coaching staff start telling a different story. This isn't hype anymore. This is a quarterback battle that Cleveland thought they controlled and might not control much longer. And that might be the most dangerous thing of all for Deshaun Watson. Now, here's what I need from you. If this breakdown opened your eyes even a little bit, smash that subscribe button right now, because this story is nowhere near finished. Hit that bell too, because when the Browns make this decision, you are going to want to be the first one to know. Drop a comment and tell me, Watson or Shedeur, who's your Week 1 starter? I'm reading every single one. Until next time, keep them bells on, and I'll see you in the next update. Peace out.